Danny Acosta for Fight Magazine here with Strikeforce CEO Scott Coker. Two big fights here coming up at UFC 121. We have Jake Shields and Martin-Kampmann. Who do you got in that fight?
I think Jake will probably win that fight. Mm-hmm.
Oh, why?
I think he's going to eventually take him down and then submit him. I think he's just a better ground fighter.
The main event, Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. Cain competed in Strikeforce prior to the UFC. Who do you see winning in that fight?
Cain Velasquez. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Brock. I think he's taken a long way, but I think he's going to have his hands full with Cain and his wrestling ability, and I pick Cain Velasquez to win that fight.
I certainly like Brock's chances. He's a bigger, stronger athlete, and we've seen him get better each and every time he steps in there. Cain has a lot of great tools. He's an amazing guy. For as big as he is, he's one of those guys that never gets tired, that can go all day. So I think the longer the fight goes, the better it is for Cain.
And Jake Shields is making his UFC debut. One of your guys, Martin-Kampmann, is on the opposite of the side of the cage. Very tough opponent. Who do you got in that fight? Obviously, you're a little biased.
Yeah, I'm a little biased, but I like this matchup for Martin. I think Martin's wrestling is very, very underrated. It's something he's worked very diligently on, and that's how Jake wins a lot of his fights. Martin hits like a Mack truck, and he's a very, very effective striker. So I like this matchup for Martin a lot, and I think he's going to pull it off.
Randy Couture.
Cain Velasquez all the way, even though I do like Brock as a character and a personality for television. But I think if I were going to match the skills up, knowing what I taught Bob Cook and what the American Kickboxing Academy has been given and what they're doing and how they're training, I pick Cain Velasquez. It's going to be long and grueling and ugly, and Cain's going to win.
Jake Shields, someone you're not particularly a fan of, is entering the UFC. How do you think he'll do against Martin-Kampmann in his debut?
I hope he loses, but I don't know because I'm not going to watch it.
Frank Shamrock.
You know what? When I saw Brock's last performance, I wasn't really happy with that, of course, and I said that also. But, you know, the guy's still learning. Now when I saw him training in a primetime event, you know, I go, man, I have a whole new respect for Brock Lesnar. He's like awesome, realizing, yes, he came out of that horrible disease that he had, you know, he had to come back. Maybe he worked on that. You know, I just saw that Mike Tyson documentary also. Mike Tyson is saying Gus D'Amato always told him speed kills, and that's what I see is going to happen maybe in this fight. You know, Velasquez still's got great wrestling skills. Is it enough to stop Brock? Maybe not the first 2 or 3 times, you know, but eventually I think with his stamina he will stop him. And Brock is also one of those guys, and I respect him for that. He doesn't run out of gas, you know, because I hate guys running out of gas. It's an unacceptable thing. It's your job. You should never run out of gas. And Brock doesn't do that. And when you see him with 2 kettlebells huge on his arm, like making squats, you go, man, this guy's like really a Viking. I love the beard look also. You know, I think it's a good thing for him. His personal life, yeah, he really got to me. I really like it. But then you see Cain Velasquez, the reason why he fights with his father, you know, with the family, having struggled all his life, you know, he's got a big motivation also, a big drive. So I think that he is going to move a lot and throw those flashy hands, man. And one thing I can tell you, that if he ends up on top, he would not be like Shields-Kampmann, emptying himself out only on the head. He will actually go for some body shots to lower the hands and then go to the head. So, but we're talking about Brock Lesnar, a freak of nature, super, super strong. He has to get in that position first, of course.
And boss, there's a co-main event. Jake Shields coming to the UFC after a long time, fighting Martin-Kampmann, a very tough opponent. Who do you have in that fight?
Yeah, you know what? Every time when you think that somebody else, Dan Henderson, I thought he was going to beat Jake, and then Jake with superior conditioning took that fight in the beginning. Yeah, it was exactly like I said, but that you don't take in consideration that Dan Henderson's going to run out of gas because you know him as the Energizer Bunny. You know, but you can see fatigue makes cowards out of men. They always say, well, you know, I wasn't a coward there, but I'm just trying to say that if you're really tired, you know, nothing works anymore. And then Jake did his, you know, he did the best. Jake, when he was on top, told that also on Inside MMA, you know, grab a bag, put it in front of a cable machine, start hitting the bag, because he's got top position the whole time. If he develops, if you're 3 minutes on top of somebody and mount and you're not able to knock him out, that is not a good thing. You know, you should improve on those boxing skills, because then that together with your great ground skills that you already have, then with a great ground and pound, you know, you're going to be unbeatable. And Kampmann is one of those guys who can stop a takedown. Very good in his submissions also. Won almost equally by knockout and by submission. It's a very dangerous opponent for him. So this is really up to grasp again. It's a very hard fight to call. But Kampmann could really take it to him.
You know, I think Kampmann's pretty good striker. He's good on the ground as well, but I don't see him stopping Jake Shields' takedown, and Jake's active enough on top where he's not going to get stood up all that much. You know, find it hard for Kampmann to win that fight. You know, Jake should win.
Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar. You know, two big guys getting in there, heavyweight division for the title. Who do you like in that fight?
You know, Brock's huge and he's powerful. You know, his striking's getting better, his ground game's getting better. Obviously, he's a good wrestler, probably better than Cain. But you know, Cain's going to wear him out. I think as Brock tries to take him down, he's going to get worn out that first round pretty bad. Cain's pretty big guy, and he's a hard puncher as well. A lot better striker, and I'd have to put money on Cain.
Dan Henderson. And Fedor, if you could tell us about Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez, who you like in that fight to win?
Скажи, пожалуйста, что ты думаешь насчет Брок Леснера и Кейн Веласкеза боя?
Хорошие бойцы, я обоих смотрел в боях.
Very good fighters, he's seen them fight before. Very good fighters, he has seen them fight before.
Я думаю, будет бой интересный.
He thinks the fight is going to be very interesting. Кто ты думаешь выиграет?